Okay, thank you. And next question is uh next question. What's the biggest problem in your life at the moment?
The biggest problem in my life at the moment is school.
And when will your school be finished this year?
I think 4 months.
In a month.
In a month, yeah.
Are you going to have some tests or some exams?
No,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so but if we hadn't this situation with COVID-19, would you have any exam?
yeah, we will have the
And how many exams
if
would you have to write to take?
three exams.
3 exams. So you're lucky in this situation
Да,
to have those
yeah.
exams. Good. And what's another opposite of the verb lose besides find?
Mm, lose.
Lose, find, and lose, win. Yeah.
Win, yeah.
What are the three forms of the verb to win?
The three forms of the verb to win is to win, won.
Does your country usually win at football?
Yes, my country usually win at football competition.
And do you do the lottery?
No, I don't do the lottery.
Would you like to try?
Yes, I would like to try.
If you won £1,000,000, what would you do with it?
If I had £1,000,000, I would buy a house.
Is your pen useless?
No, my pen isn't useless. It's useful.
What do we do with useless things?
We throw away useless things
It's better to say we throw useless things away.
away.
What are the two most useful things you possess?
My telephone and computer is the two most useful things I possess.
And do you dream about something very important to possess?
I don't know.
For example, I'm dreaming about a new computer, a new laptop. What about you? Are you dreaming about something?
I dream about a new phone.
Mhm. So, do you think that what you are learning now will be useful to you later on in life?
Yes, I think that I learning now would be useful for the future.
So, what's a contraction of I would
The contraction of I would is I'd.
and it would?
It's
If a plant had no water, would it die?
if a plant had no water,
Mm-hmm.
it'd die.
Mm-hmm. If I were you, which language would I speak?
If you were me, you'd speak Russian.
What's a contraction the book would?
Book it.
If you were a king, what would your wife be called?
If I were a king, my wife,
D be
my
called.
wife be called queen.
Yeah, this is also the passive voice. And if you lost your way in a large city, who do you ask?
If I lost the way in a large city, I'd ask policeman.
If today were Sunday, what would tomorrow be?
If today, if today were Sunday, tomorrow to be Saturday
Monday.
or Monday.
Yeah. So, and what is the day? It's today is Wednesday, yeah?
Yeah,
What kind of things do you usually put into your sandwich?
I usually put cheese into my sandwich.
What's your biggest fault?
My biggest fault. Это как biggest fault?
Fault это может быть ошибка, а может
Ошибка.
быть как, ну, как изъян, как
Да, я поняла.
какой, some negative feature.
My biggest fault is it is that I'm lazy person.
So if your computer was faulty, would you know how to fix the fault?
No, if my computer was faulty, I wouldn't know how to fix the problem.
Yeah, to fix the problem or to fix the fault. And if a student makes a lot of mistakes in his dictation, is it his fault or the fault of the teacher?
If the student makes a lot of mistakes in his dictation, it's the student's fault, but it can also be a teacher fault.
Teacher's fault.
Yeah.
Then we compare Michelangelo with Napoleon.
No, we can compare Michelangelo with Napoleon.
Why not?
Because it's two another people and they do absolutely another things.
Yeah, but it's better to speak in the past. They were absolutely different people. Yes, and they did different things.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. But if we want to make, if we want two people, if you want to make a comparison between two people or two things, what must they have?
If we want to make a comparison of two people, they must have something in common.
They must have, yes, these two things.
Yeah, they must have.
How do you cool your drink?
I cool my drink with with ice.
Or you can say, I cool my tea by blowing on it, yeah?
Yeah.
So, do you think that all the countries of the world will unite one day?
No, I don't think all the countries of the world will unite one day.
And do you think that the mixture of tea and coffee would make a pleasant drink?
I don't think the mixture of tea and coffee would make a pleasant drink.
Yes, but can you tell me, do you have any favorite cocktails when you mix something and you have and you drink it?
Maybe it can sometimes be a tea with milk.
And I remember I was watching your mother's stories, and she was making cocktail with banana, coconut milk, and something. That's spirulina, yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you like that cocktail?
Yeah, it's the best cocktail I have ever
Drank. I have ever drunk. So, if you mixed some red and white paint together, what would you get?
If I can you repeat, please?
If you mixed some red and white paint together, what would you get?
If I mix some red and white paints together, I would have a pink
color. And next question is, who cared for you when you were a child?
My mom cared for me when I was a child.
And do you think the youth should care for the old?
Yes, I think yes, should care of the old.
And do you care what people think or say about you?
No, I don't care what people think or say it about me.
Good. And if you were late for a very important appointment, would you take your time?
If I were late for a very important appointment, I wouldn't take time. I'd hurry.
And why is it sometimes a bad thing to hurry?
It's sometimes a bad thing to hurry because you can do something wrong.
Would you take your time going home if somebody told you your house was on fire?
No, I wouldn't take time for home when somebody tell me that my house in fire. I would hurry. I'd hurry.
What is the translation of I'm in a hurry?
Я в спешке.
Do people hurry when they have plenty of time?
No, people don't hurry when they have plenty of time.
So what's the opposite of plenty of water?
Plenty of the opposite. Plenty of water.
Little water, yeah?
A little water, yeah.
So how long have you lived in this city for?
I live for 3 years in this city.
I have lived, yeah?
I have lived for 3 years in this city.
Since when?
Since, I don't know, since August.
Okay, since August, let it be. How long have you known me for?
I know you,
Present perfect, yeah? I have present
I
perfect
had knew,
for.
or I haven't had knew for September. Oi.
I have known you for half an hour,
for
for half a year.
Yeah, for half year.
Yeah, since when?
Since September.
Good. Next question is, what kind of things do people usually have on their kitchen?
They usually have a fridge, have a sink, have a microwave, have a table, I don't know, etc.
How to say плита?
Or any
Cooker.
Cooker.
Does meat last longer in a fridge or a freezer?
The meat
Last
longer in a
freezer. Good. Do you hope your English studies will help your future career?
Yes, I believe the English study would
Will help my future?
will help me in the future career.
Would you lend me some money if I asked you?
Yes, I would lend you some money if you ask me.
If you lent something to somebody and they didn't return it, what did you do?
If I lend something to somebody and he wouldn't return
He didn't return
he
it.
didn't return me, I would I don't know, I would
Ask
ask
the
him.
person to return, yeah?
Yeah.
Good. And would you like to be famous?
Yes, maybe I would like to be famous.
And name me a famous person in history, the person you like.
In history?
Yeah, in history. For example, I like Elizabeth the First, the Tudor. What about you?
I don't know. Я не знаю, кого. Я вообще, в принципе, историю не люблю.
Okay. So what's the most industrial city in your country?
The most industrial city in my country is Kyiv.
And what's the most agricultural region of your country?
Lviv is the most agriculture.
Tell me, please, what do we say when we apologize for doing something wrong?
When we apologize because we did something wrong, we say I'm sorry.
What's the noun of the verb apologize?
The noun of the verb apologize is apologies.
Apology. Mhm.
Apology.
If you keep somebody waiting for a long time, should you apologize?
Yes, if I have had someone waiting for me for a long
If I keep somebody waiting,
I kept somebody waiting for me for a long time.
I should apologize, yeah?
I should apologize. Yeah.
How to translate the verb to avoid?
To avoid. Avoid. Я не помню. Avoid.
Избегать.
Избегай, да.
So how can we help to avoid becoming ill?
We can avoid becoming ill by doing sport, by eating healthy food and drinking water.
Do you have to bend down if you want to touch your feet? Do you have to bend down if you want to touch your feet?
Yes, I have to bend down if I want to touch your feet.
So, which do you think was the best century in history to live in?
And now is the best century to live in.
And were you born in this century or in a previous century?
I born
I
in
was
this.
born
I was born in this century.
in this century. Do you like the fashion and clothes at the moment?
Yes, I like the fashion clothes at the moment.
Clothes.
Clothes.
Do some people worry too much?
Yes, some people is worried too much.
Without is some people worry too much.
Worry.
Are you worried about your future?
Yes, I'm worried. Worry about my future.
Do you like running?
No, I don't like running.
What's your favorite sport or favorite activity?
It's dance.
Dancing, yeah? So let us
Dancing.
revise the information from the previous lesson about past continuous and passive voice, and tell me please, when do we use the present continuous? Not past, but present continuous.
We use the present continuous for an action that is in progress now.
And when do we use the past continuous tense?
We use the past continuous tense for an action that was in progress at a particular time in the past.
Give me the example of the past continuous.
Past continuous. I was speaking English at this time yesterday.
And were you chatting to anybody when I came into the room at the beginning of the lesson?
No, I wasn't chatting to anybody when you came into the room at the beginning of the lesson.
And were the students standing or sitting when I left the classroom at the end of the last lesson?
The students were standing when you left the classroom at the end of the lesson.
And was it raining while you were coming? So was it raining while you were walking yesterday, for example?
Yeah, no, it wasn't rainy when I
I was I was walking.
walking yesterday.
And do you like walking in the rain?
Yes, sometimes I like walking in the rain.
And do you think most people in this town were sleeping at midnight last night?
Yes, I think most people in this town were sleeping at midnight last night.
Good. And next question, where were you living 10 years ago?
I was living in another flat 10 years ago.
About how much does a doctor earn a year in this country?
A doctor earns about 100 hryvnias in this country per month.
Would it be okay for a man to wear jeans and trainers if he was going to a formal dinner?
No, it wouldn't be okay for the man to wear jeans and trainers if he was going to formal dinner.
When we meet somebody for the first time, what can we say?
When we meet somebody for the first time, we can say nice to meet you.
And what do we say if we want to be more formal?
If we want to be more formal, we can say how do you do.
Mhm. So, is it easy to persuade people to give their money away?
No, it isn't easy to persuade people to give their money away. It's difficult.
How often do you go to the hairdressers?
I go to the hairdressers for once a year.
Mhm. You only cut, yes, you cut your
Yeah,
hair a little, yeah?
yeah.
So, why do you think some films are so popular?
I think some films are so popular because they tell interesting or creative stories.
Is it grammatically correct to say I've seen her yesterday?
No, it isn't grammatically correct to say I've seen her yesterday. It's better to say I saw her yesterday instead.
Good. What does a bathroom usually contain?
A bathroom usually contains a bath, a shower, a toilet,
Мгм. Как будет у нас раковина?
basin.
Мгм. So, what color are the walls of your bathroom?
The walls of my bathroom are, I don't know, are gray and я забыла, как коричневые будут.
And brown.
And brown, yeah.
Which do you prefer, bath or shower?
I prefer shower.
What's a rain shower?
A rain shower is a short period of rain.
What does a mirror do?
A mirror reflect light.
Yes, in which room in a house do we usually find a mirror?
We usually find a mirror in the bathroom or bedroom.
Good, and now let us revise the information about the passive and active voice. And tell me, please, what does the active voice communicate?
The active voice communicates that the subject does the action.
And what does the passive voice communicate?
The passive voice communicates that the subject receives the action.
And how do we form the passive voice?
We form the passive voice with the verb to be and the past participle.
And give me an example, please.
My car was washed last month.
Good. Now, I'm asking you the question, I'm giving you the sentence in active voice and you are making the passive voice.
Okay.
John eats the pasta.
The pasta is eaten by John.
John ate the pasta.
The pasta was eaten by John.
And John will eat the pasta.
The pasta has been or will. The pasta will be eaten by John.
And John is eating the pasta.
The pasta is eaten by John.
Is been eaten by
It's
John.
been eaten.
Okay, and past continues. John was eating the pasta.
The pasta was been eaten by John.
Good. I have sent you a table with the example how to Telegram. Did you see the table?
Yeah.
So now we are going to do some exercises. You can use the table now or in the future.
Okay.
And just give me 1 second.
Give me a second. 1 second, please. Singing by Jane.
Yeah, a new song was a new song is been sung.
Is been sung, господи.
А ну давай посмотрим, сейчас мы откроем.
Разве не was singing?
Was это если past continuous. Сейчас я секундочку открою табличку. Вот смотри, в табличке у нас. Так, сейчас я эту табличку. Ладно, ты тоже смотришь, да?
Да.
Continuous. У нас там в present continuous предложение, правильно? Кажется, the sun is being sung by her, yeah?
Все, я поняла, хорошо.
Okay, next is which one?
Сейчас не прогрузилось все. The storm destroyed the house. Наверное, past simple обычный. The house was destroyed by
the storm.
the storm.
Yeah, the house was destroyed by the storm.
People spend a lot of money on the first shopping Saturday. Past simple тоже.
Yeah.
О боже.
Только не Monday, а money, наверное, здесь должно быть. People spend a lot of money on the first shopping.
Money was
A lot of money.
A lot of money was spent by people on the first shopping Saturday. How do you write that word? Не вопросом сделать или просто?
Вопросом.
How the word... Это же обычный present simple, да? How the word written by you?
How is the word written? Let us check. How is
the word written, да.
How is the word written? Okay, I was right.
Где-то. Не за это где-то. She watered the flowers every day. Ну, тоже past simple. The flowers were watered every day by her.
Yeah, it's better to say the flowers were watered by her every day.
The headmaster called his parents to the office.
Who is headmaster?
Ну, это директор, наверное.
Yeah, this is actually the British variant, and the American variant is principal.
Ну, тут логично, headmaster. Так. The parents were called by the headmaster to the office.
Or we can say his parents were called. Yeah.
His parents, yeah. Ben will direct the show. The show will be directed by Ben. Directed by Ben. The dog has broken the window pane. The window pane. The dog has broken. The window pane has broken by the dog. Has been broken by the dog. You must pay the bill first. The bill.
Смотри, мы с тобой просто не рассматривали там, где есть модальные глаголы. Какая там форма идет? The bill Потом идет модальный глагол must be paid. То есть там может быть не только must, там может быть еще should, может быть could. Потом просто глагол be и третья форма смыслового глагола. The bill must be paid. Next.
They were interviewing her for the job.
Oh, my favorite. Past continuous, yeah?
Yeah. Как тут поставить passive?
Хорошо, сейчас. Ты пока подумай, я сейчас...
Окей.
Okay. Что такое, Слава? Okay, so next. This sentence, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
Итак, у нас ты должна запомнить, что у нас в группе continuous нет ничего необычного, то есть все точно так же.
Не, я понимаю, просто как тут сделать passive?
Посредине стоит такая форма be с инговым окончанием. То есть нам нужно здесь сказать, что she was being
being interviewed
by them.
The professor told him not to talk in the class.
Ему сказали, past simple.
He was told.
Yes.
He was told
not
to talk in the class by the professor.
Yeah, he was told. Yes, you're right. He was told not to talk by the professor. Yeah.
You shouldn't speak to your neighbor.
You shouldn't speak to your neighbor. You shouldn't be spoken.
You shouldn't be spoken.
Только не been, а be просто. You shouldn't be
spoken to your neighbor.
То есть нет, только не you, а your neighbor shouldn't.
Your neighbor.
No, yeah.
No, do not leave your bicycle in the hall. The bicycle. The bicycle. The bicycle left.
Yeah, а я думаю, the bicycle mustn't be left. А ну давай проверим. Это у нас какое? 16. The bicycle mustn't be left in the hall. Ну, тебе с этим пока сложно с модальными глаголами. Я тебе просто дам домашнее задание. Их нужно делать, и у тебя оно не сложно. На самом деле. Просто нужно тренироваться. So, next.
Так. Вот этот can you learn French easily? The French.
Вот смотри, помнишь, модальный глагол, потом глагол просто be, как в этом, как его инфинитиве, и третья форма смыслового глагола. The French can be
learned easily
by you. Yeah?
By you. Your impolite tone surprises me.
Yeah?
Surprises me. Tone.
Нет. Я удивлен твоим.
I
am surprised
I'm surprised
your impolite.
by your impolite tone.
Отлично. У тебя все хорошо получается. Молодец. Дальше давай.
James will repair the car. The car will be repaired by James.
Угу.
Так, they forced an unknown author wrote the book.
Угу.
The book was written by the unknown author.
By an unknown author.
Awesome. They forced him to steal the money out of his dad's room. The money.
А скажи лучше, его заставили.
No worse, no,
He
его.
was
He was
forced. То есть he was forced by them to steal the money out of his dad's room. А теперь тот вариант, как ты хотела сказать. Деньги были украдены им.
The money was stolen.
Ага.
Stolen by their force.
Ну, это уже у нас не получится ставить.
Ой, by... А по кого?
Просто by him. У нас тогда смысл предложения не получится передать. То есть для того, чтобы передать смысл предложения, нужно сказать he was forced by them to steal the money.
Okay. Our neighbors have invited us to dinner.
Нас пригласили.
We have been invited.
Еще, как ты сказала, have
been invited.
Отлично.
Have been invited to dinner by
our neighbors.
Yeah. By our neighbors.
Why we have been invited to dinner by our neighbors?
Why are they tearing down the old theater? The old theater. Why is the old theater were tearing down by them?
Why? Так, сначала без вопроса. Так, old theater is being teared down.
It's been teared. Okay.
Тогда why is old theater teared down? Давай проверим, что-то у меня тоже сложность с этим предложением. Why is the old theater being torn down? Тут еще третья.
Господи, почему?
Так, дальше. Мы сейчас доделаем, мы уже будем новые слова учить, и будет проще.
Okay, I will present my ideas at the conference tonight. My ideas will be presented at the conference by me tonight.
Лучше by me ставить сразу. My ideas will be presented by me at the conference tonight. And the last sentence?
She would have told you. You would have been told.
Ну, здесь сложно, это мы такого еще не учились. You would have been told by her. Хорошо, давай мы тогда сделаем так.